What's up, guys? It's my neck of the woods this time around. The Indianapolis Brickyard 400. Um Historically, since I was a kid, I remember this always being my least favorite track for reasons, but still got to respect it. Most famous racetrack in the world. Not built for stock cars, but we are once again putting stock cars back on here. We had a nice little 3-year hiatus after COVID, where we raced the road course here instead. But starting last year, we're back on it. So we're back at Indianapolis, 2.5 mile. I mean, nice little rounded rectangle track. Single file, can't pass. That's the big thing here. Can't pass, can't pass, can't pass. The pole sitter, just looking back historically here, pole sitter crushes here. But overall, you see it scoring-wise, with only 160 laps to go around, it's pretty damn spread. But, the place differential kind of tends to push through, and we've got a lot of the best guys on the slate right in this range here, so it's what we're going to be focusing on. Pole sitter plus place differential kind of weak, maybe, but again, every time we come here, it seems like the winner is determined by who gets the luckiest with pit strategy and whatnot, because the field will get shaken up, but it's not going to be because someone's super fast and is passing everyone in green flag conditions. It's going to be shaken up just based on which fuel strategy hits, who gains spots on pit road, are there any restart wrecks like last year, lap 1 Xfinity. That's pretty much what it comes down to here. So the pole sitter, pretty much whoever starts first every restart is just going to take the lead. So this week we've got Chase Briscoe once again on the pole. He should be, let me see Bet365 real quick. See if they have stage odds. They do. Where are we at here? I'm retarded. There you go. Yeah, Chase Briscoe, slight favor over Reddick. He should be a kind of a bigger favorite here, I think, because usually whoever sits on the pole just kind of wins stage 1 as long as there isn't like an accident early on. There was a caution prop, 8.5, with the money on the under, which is about average for an intermediate track. Now, we're missing a lot of next-gen data because we only have one race in the next-gen era here at this track because we're doing the Grand Prix circuit. But just looking back historically, it's usually a pretty we've seen some more caution-filled wrecks or wreck fests, but this is about average. 8.5, that's like the standard number for intermediate tracks, caution-wise. So pretty standard race we're looking at here. Again, sorry, it's just me. No geek this week, unfortunately, and I have stuff to do. I got to be out by noon, so we're gonna like run right through this. But as you can see clearly here, you're paying up for place differential this week, which makes a ton of sense given there's only 160 laps. The guy dominating, I mean, there's a good chance that the guy dominating doesn't even have the best car, or is just you'll see. Look at the starting positions here. Toyota, Legacy, and 23XI JGR. They clearly got properly trimmed out for qualifying, so they're able to run up there, do just fine. Practice times, I don't know what to think about practice. There weren't any. So on Friday, we were supposed to have like a proper full-on practice. We ended up putting everyone together in one group and having a Saturday, I think it was like 2 p.m. So a Saturday afternoon practice for like 20 minutes. And then turn 2 was falling apart and they needed to go out there and like fix it. So a lot of this practice time is pretty noisy. And we haven't seen practice be super correlative to results, or at least based on like last year. One thing we do notice is that Denny Hamlin actually fast, which is shocking. Usually he just fucks around in practice. And Blaney not fast at all. Blaney and Logano. So Cindric did have some speed, but in the Penske camp, I mean, this is very rare to see. So everything's just kind of super noisy to me. There's been a lot of rain. There's been 2 races on the track already. I mean, I guess the truck race is already over by the time that they got on the track yesterday, but it's supposed to be it was a weird schedule this week. It was supposed to be the Cup guys practicing on Friday, then the truck race, then the Xfinity race, then this race, but whatever. It's a crown jewel race, and it's on TNT, so that fucking sucks. You would figure that this would be on an NBC or a Fox, especially this time of year, but it's the sad state of NASCAR as of right now. I wish that every race could be on Prime. That would be just wonderful. So last year, this race was kind of BS. At the end here, you had it was really stupid. There's we had an overtime finish, and then I think they just didn't want another one because someone was wrecked for like half a lap, and they just didn't throw anything. I forget who it was. But yeah, it was really stupid. As you can see here, starting the pole, you're just going to kind of stay up there until, you go to the pits here. I think the stage is like 50, 50, 60. I think it's 50, 50, 60. So we can expect Briscoe to probably just lead stage 1. If there's no caution, that's just a free 50 laps. Then after that, once strategy gets mixed up, those trimmed out cars will probably struggle in traffic like everyone else. So for me, I mean, it seems like Briscoe is just going to lead stage 1. I don't care about these practice times. He was able to put it on the pole. I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, Briscoe probably just going to lead stage 1. After that, who knows? But I mean, he's been seriously coming into his own. Pocono and Michigan, the last 2 intermediate tracks we've been to, also the only 2 other 2+ milers. So we are looking at Pocono and Michigan, but you can actually kind of pass here, so it's a little bit different. But I mean, Indianapolis is such a unique track. There's really not much to go off of besides, I guess, like Pocono and Michigan. But it's really kind of like a unique race. If you want to look at just who was fast there specifically, just average green flag speed. I know Buescher was fucking awesome. Hamlin, of course, is always going to be among the best here. This track type. Larson, notably, not really up there. Just in those 2 races specifically. Byron, led a bunch of laps. His finishes weren't like the best. Where did he end up finishing? Yeah, he wrecked out of both. But don't look at this go, 27, 28. No, he sucked. No, he was leading. He led the most laps of anyone in these races by far. It's just finishing them has been a little bit of an issue, just like it was last year. In this race, you'll notice a lot of the favorites kind of got taken out. It was a bit of a clusterfuck here. It's just a weird track. I kind of hate it. I've always really hated it, but at least it's not like same day qualifying like it used to be. Used to have like Sunday qualifying for a Cup race in this race, and that was really, really stupid. But nonetheless, here we are paying up $11K for Denny Hamlin starting in last. The big thing this week that I absolutely love is, I got into fantasy. Back in like 2013, 2014, playing on Fantasy Feud. That was my jam until that site shut down. And that site primarily focused on snake drafts. And lo and behold, this week they added snake drafts to NASCAR. It's something I've been waiting on for years and years. So I've just been playing like every goddamn snake draft I can find, really, since I did a few before qualifying, but I really started hammering them as soon as like practice started, and then like qualifying. That's when because the ADP is based off of like they had it up for 2 days before qualifying. So you had guys like Bubba. People know this is one of Bubba's best tracks. Came in here with really good odds. Bubba's getting drafted kind of early. even like a Keselowski, people knew was going to be pretty good. Was getting drafted kind of early. And then like you've got guys like Bell and Logano getting drafted super early. And then I was really targeting guys that tend to qualify poorly, like Chastain primarily. He was going way too low. He's still way too low. If you're in a sharp draft now, he's going to get drafted like 4th or 5th, but his ADP is like 12. I think it's still like 11 or 10. Like it's not very good. The ADP is just wrong. So as soon as qualifying hit, the ADP became wrong. Like Hamlin was first overall. Him going to 39th, it's not going to change anything. He was first in pretty much every snake draft. But after that, I mean, you had huge value on guys like Ross Chastain. Suarez, you could get at the very end of the draft. He didn't even have an ADP starting 36. John Hunter Nemechek was the big one where he was completely undrafted up until qualifying. I think he's my highest exposed player because you could even like an hour or two after qualifying, you could still get him in the last round. Like people just don't pay attention. Insanely fast in practice, but like Hamlin hit the wall, has to go to a backup here. But I mean, there's so much speed there. Those plays become elite. Chase Elliott was already up there, but it's another great play. And guys like Byron with an ADP of like 5, it's just not. I mean, if you look at the projections, he's more of like the 6th, 7th, 8th place guy. Reddick also going super high. Not as much value as you'd see, but I could see the snake drafts being absolutely insane value at like Talladega, Daytona. They're probably going to not be worth your money at a place where like a road course, or if you just don't get SVG, if you just don't get the first pick in the draft, you kind of suck. So been absolutely loving that. I wish they were a little bit bigger because right now you've got either 3 or 4 player contest with 5 drivers each. So that means at the most 20 drivers are getting drafted. What's up with that, DK? I mean, at least for the first few weeks, like this is a crown jewel. People are filling the contest. We could have easily had 5-player drafts with a 6-player lineup or 6-player drafts with a 5-player lineup, and that's like 30. That's you could even do the smallest truck race with like 32 people in it and still plenty of people to draft. I don't understand why it's so limited, but I guess it's supposed to be super casual. If they ever made them bigger or made the rosters bigger, there'd be so much skill expression. I would love that form of fantasy. But there's me nerding out about the snake drafts coming to NASCAR. My dream come true. I don't even think I'm going to play very much regular DFS this week. I have got hundreds of dollars in just the snake drafts already, just having the time of my life over there. And I can't even tell you the crazy picks I've seen. I've seen Eric Jones getting picked 3rd overall. I've seen Shane Van Gisbergen starting 11th. Horrible fantasy play. By far, right there with Catherine Legg is the lowest projecting play in the entire slate. I've seen Shane go get picked like round 3, round 4. I've seen him picked multiple times. And that's got to be just people clicking on his head and looking at fantasy points because we've been to several road courses recently. It's so soft out there. I love it whenever DraftKings adds anything new because it's always super soft to begin with. So hammering those snakes. Anyway, getting back into the DFS slate here, of course, we've got our 10K plus guys, and they're all good plays. Larson, the odds-on favorite, starting 13th. It's a good spot for him, of course. Won here last year, but really shouldn't have, in my opinion. Whatever. He technically has the most laps on the track of anyone this season because he did the double duty. Ran a bit of the IndyCar race, but obviously did a bunch of the weekend festivities there, what have you. Larson, him being the favorite, I understand it, and it's simply because Denny Hamlin is starting 39th. Hamlin came in as the favorite as he should have, or he's right there with Larson, which is correct. Michigan won there, Pocono runner up there, extremely good. So Hamlin, you don't really have to do much analysis here. Yeah, 11K is expensive for a place differential guy, but with only 160 laps to go around and him starting dead fucking last. And I mean, his implied top 5 odds 35%, implied top 10 55%. If he finishes top 10, he's probably optimal. Realistically, it's like finishes top 7, top 8. That's optimal. And he's going to get like not lead laps, but fast laps on the way. Could lead. He is Denny Hamlin, but it's really hard to navigate through traffic here. Yeah, that sucks. But through strategy alone, we'll probably get up to like the top 10, top 15. Just a really super high floor play. But I mean, we don't really need to hammer on why we want to play Denny Hamlin starting 39th. That's just like very obvious. Blaney, slow in practice. I'm kind of tossing that. It's whatever. Starting 24th. The only reason I don't really like this play is because usually Blaney gains spots from just being really fast on long runs. I don't think that really means an awful lot here where everyone just runs in a single file line. It's just kind of whatever. You're going to need to have good restarts and have a good pit crew to gain you spots here. And that's not really what Blaney has going on for him, but still an okay spot. This is like the Penske track, so you would hope that they can figure it out. Larson, talked about him, but I mean, you're just going to want a good amount of exposure to him. Starting 13th, he doesn't have the place differential upside as the guys around him. And I wouldn't really consider him like an early dominator. This is like a stage 2 dominator right here. Byron, potentially a stage 1 dominator, but let's be realistic here. Chase Briscoe is just going to lead all of stage 1 unless there's a caution or something happens or he fucks up or somehow these practice speeds means he's actually slow. Realistically, you can see from practice, right? Everyone took a qual lap. Like the qual laps are way faster, just way different than the rest of your laps. It kind of determines who got the best laps in practice. That's why practice just super noisy. But on top of that, I mean, look at all these qual laps. Briscoe trimmed out for clean air, which means, yeah, he's going to struggle in traffic, but everyone struggles in traffic here. And starting first at a track like this, where just the pole sitter is such a massive advantage, he's just going to lead stage 1. I think he has like a 27.5 or 28.5 projected lead laps, like over under on DraftKings Pick 6. I say take the over. He's just going to lead stage 1. It's kind of how it is. He's been good, look at a win at Pocono, the most recent, large flat oval. Dover and Sonoma runner up there. Like he's just really coming into his own in this equipment, this Martin Truex Jr. car. A great spot for him. For DFS, you kind of play him and then place differential and hope it kind of works and hope he just continues to have like good finishes and just hang up there all race. But his floor is he's just leading stage 1. His ceiling, yeah, it's just these recent finishes. They've just been good. Like he's just been improved. So hometown boy, him and Justin Haley, the fellow Hoosiers. Shout out to my fellow Hoosiers there. For Chris Buescher here, he was insane at Michigan and Pocono. Like Michigan, he had the best car. He just ended up finishing second. Don't really see the speed from him this week. And starting 7th, it's an awkward spot. So I understand why he's priced up here. This track type has been good for him. But with Indy, it's kind of, just track position roulette wheel up top. So I think the place differential guys are just going to have an advantage over these guys starting up front, but not in the very front. You can see like the second row here in particular is so bad at scoring. It's awful. You can get a little bit like we've seen optimal guys starting in the top 10, but the second row in particular is really bad. We've never seen them do anything. Buescher in that spot where he could be okay. It's just he's priced up enough. He's not someone I'm going to play a ton of, but RFK, I do have him circled this week. I think RFK is super fast this track, but there are better plays we'll talk about. Joey Logano, kind of whatever play. Just the same as usual this week. Hates fast laps. Go over here you can see. Hates fast laps. 1.5 average at the large ones, 2.5 at the intermediates this season per 160 laps. Like, just not good for fantasy scoring. Starts 15th. He'll finish like 9th or something. I don't know how that's going to compete with the deep place differential guys up top or the actual lap leaders. So No, Ty Gibbs is a horrible, horrible, horrible play this week. Do not play him. Do not play Ty Gibbs. He's starting 5th. Cool. He is not going to push for the lead at all. He is racing Ty Dillon straight up for $1 million in the in-season challenge. And yeah, I know he's a kid, but he's going to be forced to just drive the most conservative strategy you've ever seen. He is just going to chill and try to finish just a few spots ahead of Ty Dillon, which isn't really that hard of an ask. He just needs like a top 20 finish. Starting 5th, he's just going to coast. Do not play Ty Gibbs. Brad Kez, he was someone I was really into coming in to this week. Is fast. This track type is awesome for him. It's been great here historically. $8,400. Starting 14th, a bit of an awkward spot, but still a good play. I have plenty of him. I have a lot of exposure through snake drafts. I thought he was a great value pre-qualifying. Now he's just kind of like a last round option right there with like Bowman or Suarez or whatever. He's fine. He's a bit underpriced here. RFK, I just like them a lot this week, so I'll have some Keselowski exposure. Chastain, kind of a free play. Obviously, I have a ton of him in snake drafts because his ADP is just wrong. Starting back in 33rd. We kind of saw this at Charlotte. Started the very rear, finished up front. Like he always qualifies like 20th or worse, like always. And he always ends up scooting up to the top 10. It's just kind of what happens. So just a free, easy, cheap place differential play. You're going to have a lot of Chastain this week. Kyle Busch, I hate him at this track, or I hate him at this this package. And the intermediate track, I'm just not really big on him because he just never makes you pay. He's won here a few times in the past, but I don't see it all this week. Bowman, I like it pretty much every other type of track outside of this one. I mean, yeah, he's DNF'd a lot, but he's had actual speed when he's not been DNFing here. So, yeah, Pocono, Michigan running like 15th. That's whatever, but he does have that ability to finish better than where he runs at pretty much every race. Starting 21st, he's in the mix, but it's kind of whatever. Hocevar is just pure GPP. He has speed, he has upside. But my God, does he have downside? Do not play him on FanDuel. This is like the absolute no FanDuel play. Because if you get one wreck in your lineup or anyone that finishes poorly, like, nah. Bubba Wallace, this is his best track. Back in the truck series here, he would win over and over. Led a bunch of laps here last year, top 5 finish. Did the same thing back here in 2020, 2019. Like this was in like Eric Jones's equipment. He's really, really good. So yeah, Bubba, you can see his odds. He came in, like these are the best opening odds you're going to see for Bubba outside of like a super speedway, right? And him qualifying front row, he's just the pivot off of Chris Buescher for sure. Now, stage 1, I don't know. He's probably just going to be like a top 5 do-it-all race or someone to lead stage 2, whatever. I'm still running under the assumption that Chase Briscoe is just going to easily be able to drive backwards stage 1 and lead every lap because that's just kind of this track in a nutshell. But Bubba ended up getting a bunch of qualifying in the snake draft, so I'm avoiding him. Other than that, I probably have a little bit too much. Starting second, though, he has a little bit of dominator upside, but I think his finish is he's going to finish top 10. He'll be fine. It's just I wish he either qualified first or with some place differential. Second, a little bit awkward, but at least it's not third or fourth. This mid-range here, we're kind of, these are all just kind of whatever plays outside of Priest. I love Priest starting 23rd in the RFK car. Has been just a top 10 menace at the intermediate tracks, just a menace. He's a great play. Josh Berry, I guess at drafting style tracks, not bad. Has the win here in Las Vegas, can be aggressive, but I'd still much prefer Priest. Cindric, the one fast Penske car, I guess, with it being kind of drafting style, it helps him a bit. It was good here last year, top 10. But starting 10th, just a super awkward spot. If he was starting a bit further back, maybe. And then Suarez could be a bit of a trap play here. right? Because he's been like a 15th place car at the intermediate tracks. Top 10 here last year. On paper, looks really good. The odds 250. I mean, that has a lot to do with the same concerns that I have, which are I've said it the last few weeks, but they'll need to be said for the rest of the season. Suarez is out at Trackhouse, and I mean, it makes a lot of sense to kind of avoid him for the rest of the year. It's usually what I do with these guys like Harvick, Truex, Almirola that have been on their way out. Usually the results tend to worsen as the season goes on. He's someone that I have a lot of exposure to in Snakes again because he was going like undrafted. And once he qualified 31st, I knew I could get Suarez for free as like last round value. And you still kind of can almost. So I have a bit too much exposure to Suarez for me to be comfortable in. For fantasy, I think in GPP is probably a fade. You probably just fade him, play John Hunter Nemechek instead or Priest. And just hope that the field goes a bit too hard on him starting in this spot because, yeah, his upside should be nowhere near what it has been for the last few years. Allmendinger, I would like if he wasn't starting top 10, whatever. SVG, I explained earlier, like one of the worst plays you can make on the slate. McDowell, just, rough goes at Pocono in Michigan, but not seeing a whole lot here from this play. I guess some decent long run speed, but Eric Jones, he's been awesome at the intermediates recently, like a top 15 dude consistently, and like Nashville 7th, he was running like top 5 the whole race. Like it's legit. John Hunter Nemechek, you can see has insane speed. That's his teammate. So legacy, great speed across the board here. I'm sure John Hunter Nemechek, who had been qualifying top 10 at like Pocono in Michigan, he would have qualified up there with Eric Jones probably if he didn't fuck up his qualifying run. But Eric Jones, I don't know if this is playable, but man, it's been impressive to see him because he was bad at this track type, right? Until recently, he's just kind of turned it on. Outside of this wreck at Kansas, he's been a permanent top 15 fixture. It's just him starting third. I mean, just God. That second row is brutal at this track. So it just doesn't work out for Eric Jones for me. John Hunter Nemechek, just the best play on the slate probably because there's not a ton of value. He's like the best value guy. He had like the best car in practice and then wrecked, and it's probably just going to go to an identical car. Starting back in 36, I mean, what's not to love? He's just Hamlin, but way cheaper. Not as much upside, of course, but way cheaper. Track history, you see, he finished 29th. That sucks. But dude, look at Nemechek here. Like, bro's leading. Bro started top 10 and literally pushed his way up. He got the lead off of. This is what happens to this track. You know, there's a yellow, and then just all of a sudden, next thing you know, John Hunter Nemechek is leading over Tyler Reddick, and he's holding off Tyler Reddick the whole time. Like that's this track. So even guys like John Hunter Nemechek, who was in way, way worse form last year, can go out there and lead laps. So, I mean, don't just see a 29th place run here. He was legitimately a top 10 car. So awesome, incredible smash play starting 36 in a fast car. Like how for 62, that's just a perfect play. So he's probably going to crash out. Austin Dillon, whatever. Zane Smith, I like it. There's really 3 plays here that are so much better than every other value play. Zane Smith is perfectly fine. His top 15 upside starting 27th. Can't really go wrong there. Gragson qualified a bit too high. And then Stenhouse, another guy that was really good here last year, started 9th and was kind of he stayed running top 15 at least the whole race, finished 11th. For Ricky Stenhouse Jr. standards, that's pretty good. And yeah, you can see the odds are a little bit better than we'd usually see from him, but his price is still around the same. Starting 32nd, strong play. And then after him, you don't have to pay. It's not like Dover where he had a bunch of 11K guys, right? It's priced like a 160 lap race. So yeah, it sucks that you do have to pay 11K for Chalk Hamlin. But I mean, if you just play like two of these guys, you can probably afford anyone that you want to. But Stenhouse kind of makes everything really work. I don't think you need to dip into this range a whole lot because these guys are going to suck. Ty Dillon, obviously, honestly, a great track for him. He's always finished top 20 here, pretty much. But he's maybe someone that I would not uncheck in the domination station. I'd play him, but so I mean 26. That's not him starting 34th, right? That's when you would play a Ty Dillon. So 26 to 22nd, it doesn't score very well. He would have to actually break the top 20 and do stuff. And Haley, probably the best play 55 under. Haley starting 28th. A 20th place car at Pocono, 20th place car at Michigan, 20th place car here last year, 20th to like 21st, 20th, gets you 28, 30 points. That's, I don't know if it gets the job done, honestly. So that's kind of the problem with Haley. Gilliland starting too high. Jesse Love, extremely slow. No. Custer was on him last week for the first time all year, and he completely fucked me. He was just bad. He was just awful at Dover. Starting 29th here, he's been like a 20th to 22nd place car, kind of consistently when it's not wrecking. So maybe like the one super cheap play you can maybe take a shot at, but he just broke my heart last week, man. I'll try it again a little bit, but I can't be doing all that again. Riley Herb starting too high in 25th. No. Cody Ware, 18th place finish last year. Just shows you the power of track position here. So this is something you can consider when looking at cheaper guys. Like Cody Ware can legit run 18th here. Now, the chances of him doing it again are not as good. I would say that he was a lot better last season. I mean, you can see in his spot starts for Rick Ware, he's running like 20th. This is him this year. Like this is about what you expect. Like a 30th place run. That's not going to get anything done. It's going to be a lap down. Because we only have last year's race to look at for the next gen series, but there were 24 cars on the lead lap, and Cody Ware is certainly not a top 25 driver when it comes to pace for sure. And the bottom end here, just Balicki slow, leg slow. Not a whole lot to say, sorry. But that's just, it's more of the equipment than them. Like Balicki and Leg are like fine drivers, you know, they're good at like road courses or whatever. But yeah, that equipment is just kind of doo-doo. So just talking about roster construction here a bit before I just start digging through some of the questions and comments here. Obviously, place differential, big thing. You may ask, dominators, right? For the domination station, I think you can just leave no rules this week, or I would maybe recommend putting Larson as a dominator and then doing at least one. So you get at least one of just Larson, Byron, Reddick, Briscoe, which are pretty, and maybe Bubba, right? Those are like the lap leaders I can see here. It's pretty clear. It's just Briscoe's going to lead early. After that, then it'll just be Larson, Byron, Reddick, Bubba. Those would be the other guys that could compete. Then it's going to be just your complete randomness of who leads with strategy and that shit. So, and it depends on how many cautions we do see here. It was a bit caution filled last year, but 8.5 prop is pretty standard, especially with the money on the under there. So I think you could do a full place differential lineup, and it just works. More likely than not, there is going to be one lap leader that you do need. Like if Briscoe does anything in stage 2 or 3, he becomes that guy for me. So I've got a ton. Like again, I'm mostly doing snake drafts this week, and Briscoe is still a great value, even after qual. So I have a ton of Briscoe. It's kind of just who I'm banking on being good here. Also, like, come on, it's the Indy boy on the pole at Indy. And I'm a Hoosier myself. Like, I gotta look out for bro. So it's a little bump to him and Haley this week. But other than that, man, you're paying for Hamlin. If you want to fade him because he's chalk, yeah, I guess it's just Hamlin is so rock solid, and 39th is like, that's so much place differential to work with. I could see getting Alpha Blaney and Byron Reddick. Maybe pick your poison there, but I don't think you need a ton of them. I think for me, it's just going to be a lot of Briscoe. Elliott, phenomenal. You're going to play as much Elliott as you can because I don't even know if I end up talking about him much, but I mean, this is what you want for a place differential play, is it not? Where are the DNFs? There are none. He's just a perfect play. I don't know what to say. Anytime that Elliott has a deep place differential to offer, you just play Elliott because he just finishes races. It's what he does. I think he's been the lead lap every single race in top 20 every single race this year through like 20 races. That's incredible. Bell, I don't really like. So yeah, it's going to be like Briscoe for the Doms. Probably Briscoe and then Larson and then Byron and then Reddick and then Bubba in that order for Doms, and then place differential as much Elliott as you can, as much Chastain as you can, as much Hamlin as you can, but he's going to be the chalk, right? A good amount of Priest, as much Jan Nemechek as I can. He's probably going to be chalky down there, but I really don't care. He's my highest exposure player just from Snakes because he is absolutely insane value on Snakes. He still kind of is, but after quality is just ridiculous. Suarez kind of bait. Would just prefer Priest here. And then Stenhouse I like, yeah. And that's kind of the raw core, and then just kind of mix in some differentiators. As long as it's not Ty Gibbs this week, you're looking good. And I got to get out of here, but I'm gonna look through a few questions here. Yeah, Geek not showing up, bro, is gonna making me do this. I'm about to dip here in a second because I gotta go to a surprise birthday party. I've never been to a surprise party, hiding behind the couch and shit. I don't know how that's gonna go. No clue. But I'm bringing him some beer. I'm bringing him some golden ale. I think he'll like that a lot. It'll be a fun first time experience. But I don't know where Geek is, man. Just leave me hanging, bro. So Austin Dillon's gonna get a top 15 finish and then not even matter for fantasy because he's starting like what 20th. Yeah, it's not gonna matter. You would need like a top 10 to do anything. Yep. Hamlin got trimmed out. It's funny that for like a second or maybe even like third week in a row, it's just happened a lot recently. The fast guys in practice have been the ones that start in the rear. Like, I guess just because they're really pushing it. Like, Hamlin was really pushing it in his qual lap. Like, he was giving everything he's got. Bro's a racer. Yeah, he ended up putting it into the wall. Then Nemechek, you could say those are like the two best. Well, they're literally the two best cars in practice. They're the ones that are pushing it the hardest in their qual lap. Because that's just their hot laps right here, these speeds. Yeah, it kind of makes sense that the two that are pushing it the hardest in their qual lap are the ones that ended up pushing it too hard. And now they'll be pushing tons of ownership from the rear of the field. What do they get with a stage 1 win? They get playoff points. And it's that time of the season where you need playoff points. Those are really helpful. Let's see here. Yep, true. There's been a bunch of off and on rain, thunderstorms. We saw them delay the practice, of course, Friday practice. Would have been great to get a Friday practice with like snakes up. That would have been awesome. We've seen it threaten the truck and Xfinity race with the rain there. So it's definitely going to make the track kind of an unknown. That's why I'm not like crazy about practice speeds here. Track has probably changed so much since then. What 3 guys can I parlay to finish top 10 and parlay them with a home run? Well, I've only ever seen a couple of these guys like Keselowski throw out starting pitches, and I definitely wouldn't parlay any of their baseball skills. That said, so you take who gets home runs nowadays? Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh. I don't really know baseball like that, but you take one of those guys, parlay them three to finish in the top 10. That's like decent. odds-wise here, I guess Hamlin, right? I mean, the odds are, it's not very good, but maybe if you're pushing someone deeper, maybe like Busher, right? Busher odds okay. I mean, these are all still like plus money, or there's still like negative odds. If you want someone deeper, maybe you can't even get value on Eric Jones. Yeah, maybe Eric Jones 2.7. Yeah, but he's been like just outside the top 10. I don't. He has that speed, maybe. Yeah. So Jones, I guess would be someone. John Hunter from the rear. That's a tough ask. Get top 10. I don't know. Stenhouse almost did it last year. That's really risky. I don't know. Hell yeah, brother. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. You know it. We getting, I don't know, it's a 35th birthday party, man. Me and my friends are getting old. We're getting old as hell. Yep. McDowell, not really feeling him much at all. Nemechek, we already do. He's going to the rear. Hamlin, of course, the rear. Love sucks. Zane Smith, yeah, he's already pretty much in the rear. Not a big deal. I feel like bro will probably have a bunch of his own, but whatever. What does chalk leg mean? I feel like I know all the DFS terms. Chalk leg? I guess you mean like a pivot off of bro. I don't know. I think Bubba is going to be popular enough because people know that this is his best track. The odds, 12-1 at 77. I think people understand this well enough. I think he'll have the proper amount of ownership. So I don't think you need to go crazy on leverage one way or the other. Probably under, just because I think he gets cock blocked by Briscoe. That's just the way I see this going down. I don't know. I kind of almost have to root for him because I got him in so many of the early drafts, but anything post-qual, I've avoided Bubba and let everyone else have him. All right, I got a dip. All right, go. It's been fun. Helmets up, people. You know the fucking drill. Crown Jewel, Indianapolis. 2 hours away on the other side of Highway 69. Very nice. They're the bottom part of our 69. So shout out Indianapolis. Shout out those guys. And shout out to all of you guys here in the DFS Army putting those helmets up. They're all over NASCAR. You've seen this everywhere. Come join at dfsarmy.com. Promo code TACO. Get you that lifetime 10% off discount. And I will see you guys next week at, wait for it. I remember the schedule through the tournament up to Indianapolis, and now I got to check. Is it Iowa? It is indeed Iowa, the Iowa Corn 350. And then we go to the Glen. So a couple of fun upcoming races for us. So I will see you guys next week in Indiana 2.0, aka Iowa. The two states that pretty much supply all of the pigs in this country. So going from one pig state to the next, going from one corn state to the next for the Corn 250. So I will see you guys there next week. Later.